What's up, guys? If you saw the title, today we're doing the Diamond Show. I know I've been sporadic in terms of, what days I'm actually doing this. We do try to shoot for Tuesday nights, 9:15, 9:30, depending on my schedule and how busy we are. I mean, it is baseball season, so we're cranking things up, and sometimes it's just, it's not in the cards to do it on Tuesday night, so I might switch it. But if you saw the title, today's episode is going to be about why we don't want to teach off of Bryce Harper's game swings. If you're following me on Facebook, you guys know that I reposted or reshared Bryce Harper's pregame routine that he shared on Facebook. He did a Facebook Live broadcast, which is awesome. So if you're on Periscope, check that out. Jump over to Facebook. You can follow. You can check it out on our page, the Performance Academy NC, or you can go to Bryce Harper's page. It's pretty cool to follow these professional athletes and kind of seeing what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and Bryce does a pretty good job in that video. So I've said it for the last, 2-3 years. There's been this big movement to, teach what Bryce Harper's doing in the game and teach that to our youth. And I've been a big advocate against it. Now, let me explain exactly what I mean in terms of advocate against it. Bryce Harper, best athlete and one of the better athletes in the game of baseball right now, and I'd probably say one of the best athletes of that generation. Younger 20s, fantastic. He is very, very good. Obviously, he does what he does, and he's very, very successful. However, this Facebook Live video that he posted proves what I'm talking about. Okay? In the game, if you watch a lot of his game films, you'll see that his back foot will come up off the ground. All right? But he finishes in a wide position. So this kind of goes off of what we talked about the other day in the whole squish the bug theory. In his Facebook Live video, you'll see that he's taking swings and he's purely just rotating, maintaining his center mass. And if his foot's coming off the ground, it's very, very small. What we've said is, when we hit in a game, everything is exaggeration of how we practice. Okay, I'll say that again. When we hit in the game, everything is exaggeration of how we practice. So what I've said is, if we're teaching kids to do this in practice, now in the game they're going to have even more forward movement. Okay, and I know there's a lot of facilities and a lot of coaches out there that are teaching back foot off the ground, go forward. Okay, and what it's creating is a lot of the kids to finish with their feet closer together than shoulder width. They have no solid foundation. They're so afraid of finishing in this squish the bug position that they're finishing right here. And all that creates is a lot of forward movement coming up out of our legs, losing all of our power. I compare this to if I were to jump out into the softball field right now and play 16-inch softball. All right, so they're flipping me. I would approach it here, and I'd swing, and everything would be going straight uphill. Feet were coming up off the ground, lifting up high. Well, guess what? When velocity occurs, or when velocity gets higher, it's a lot harder to do that, and you will not be successful. Okay, so you might be able to get away with it in a little league, coach pitch, kid pitch, younger age, when velocity doesn't really matter. You might be able to get away with it even in high school. Okay, because velocity and or stuff movement is not that great. But I guarantee you, when you guys get to collegiate baseball, velocity is really, really consistent. Change of speeds is a lot greater. Movement is a lot greater. Right? And then you get into pro ball, and you're hitting like this and finishing with your feet together. Okay? Teaching to back foot to come up off the ground, right? And not finishing a wide foundation, you are not going to be a successful hitter. I can guarantee it, because ultimately, when it comes down to it, we want to eliminate how much head movement we do have throughout our swing. Now, we know that when we load up against our backside and we stride, yes, I'm going to have this forward head movement, but it can't continue up out of our legs. Okay? It can't continue when we're starting to swing. Our barrel's going to drag. Okay? That baseball that's coming in at 90 miles an hour is now going to be 95. Okay, and out the window goes the whole theory of trying to slow the game down. Okay, I've seen it so many times. We've had so many guys in our facility that have gone to other places and come in here, and yeah, you know what? The other places, they're teaching them, back foot's coming off the ground. They're doing great. They're hitting home runs. First time you've ever hit a home run. Yeah, well, what kind of competition is he facing? How fast is that velocity? Because more times than not, when these kids get to high school, then they really start struggling. Okay, and to prove my point even more, you know, there is some credit in teaching this, getting our momentum going through the baseball, eliminating head movement, staying strong on our front side, but we've got to finish in a wide, solid foundation. Well, our kids, and even I would say high school kids, take things in exaggeration, guys. So if we're teaching this, they might be there in their lesson, but now all of a sudden, over time, they're here. And we're having to recreate their swing. So I cannot stand when coaches take Bryce Harper's swing in the game, which, by the way, he might be looking at something to correct that anyways. Right? Take Bryce Harper's swing in the game, and they try to make their kids do that in practice. Okay, so now they are going forward, back foot coming off the ground, creating a ton of forward movement, and then they get into the game, and they go to exaggerate it, because that's just the way human nature is. We do everything in exaggeration in a game, and now we have way more head movement, and the chances of us being successful go way down. Yeah, you might run into a baseball here and there, and you might have, you know, some pretty damn good power, all right? But the chances of you being consistent over time with higher velocity go way down, in my opinion. Okay, so let's not teach what Bryce Harper's doing in the game. Let's teach what he did. Jump over to our Facebook page. Jump over to follow Bryce Harper on his Facebook Live page and see what he's doing in terms of pregame stuff. His body's maintaining his center mass. Guess what, guys? He pretty much is squishing the bug. Okay? We talked about it the other day. That back knee gaining ground, and he's finishing in this squish the bug position. He's not finishing in a position like this. Okay? So jump over there and look at that stuff, okay? He's training like that. He's not doing that in the game, obviously, because it's an exaggeration. But he's training different than what he shows in the game. Okay? I think that's the biggest point. Stop looking at game swings. Stop over-analyzing professional hitters' game swings and making your 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old do that. All right? Let's teach him to maintain his body center mass, finish in a wide, solid foundation. Okay, and if you follow me on any other social media platforms, you know, I try to keep it as simple as possible. So let's keep our youth at a 3-step process. 1, stay visually connected to the baseball, eliminating our head movement. Okay, the less head movement you have, the more successful you're going to be. I don't care who you are. Second one, let's teach them to actually be aggressive and have intent to attack the baseball. Okay? How hard can you swing? All right, and third is extra credit, stay in balance. Okay? Have intent to attack the baseball, stay balanced. Okay? And all of this cannot happen unless we're visually connected to it. Okay? So again, I'll say it for the 5th time. Stop teaching what Bryce Harper does in the game. Look at his Facebook Live, right? Start teaching the way he's practicing. Maintaining our body center mass, attacking the baseball hard, finishing in a wide, solid foundation. Okay? Guys, I tried to do this as quick as I can today. Keep it under 10 minutes. Still waiting on those hats to come in, so we're going to get you guys some stuff here in the next couple weeks. If you do not already, follow me on Snapchat at TPANC, or follow TPA on Snapchat at TPANC. Follow us on Twitter at TPANC. We're going to be releasing a lot of this stuff. We've got some awesome content on YouTube and Facebook where we will be releasing anywhere from our offensive standpoints to our offensive drills to defensive stuff, defensive drills. And not only that, but we go even deeper into, I call it our steps to creating a winning young man. All right, and how we want to not parent our kids, but how we want to become a good influence to our kids. All right, so jump over to YouTube, jump over, follow us on Facebook. If you guys don't mind, go ahead and share. I think you swipe to the left and share this Periscope. We're going to continue to grow this throughout the baseball season and throughout the rest of the year. It's free, completely free. All right, and I'm open for opinions. If you guys want to hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Snap. I'm open for opinions or topics that you guys might want me to discuss in future episodes. We can cover whatever you want. If you guys have any questions for me, I can spend here about a minute and a half answering some questions for you guys. On Periscope, I saw some stuff coming through. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and shoot them. I just saw hi from Ireland. That's pretty cool. You know, reaching people across the pond. Who do I think is better, Josh Donaldson or Bryce Harper? That's a tough question. I honestly, I like Bryce Harper a little bit better. I think, I know what happened last night is probably not the greatest for our kids, but, that dude plays with a ton of passion. I know Josh Donaldson does as well, but the passion, the hustle and stuff that he plays with every single day, how great he wants to become is something special. So I think a lot of times that whole, hustle, Pete Rose type mentality that we're kind of getting away from. And I feel like Bryce Harper plays maybe just a little bit harder, but, it's very, very hard to compare those two. They're very, very good athletes, very good athletes, that are at the top of their game right now, that's for sure. I will tell you this, they both do some awesome things offensively that, we implement in our teachings, for our more advanced hitters. Again, some of the stuff that Bryce Harper does, am I a coach? Yes, I'm a coach. Some of the stuff that Bryce Harper does and some of the stuff that Josh Donaldson does, we actually teach, right? But it has to be the right athlete and the right fit, because there's no right mold on how to teach our kids, all right? There's no right transcript or way to teach our kids. So we implement, what both of those guys do from an offensive standpoint in our lessons and with our kids. You guys got any more questions for me on Periscope, Facebook? If not, we'll go ahead and end this. Favorite team? Baseball team would probably have to be Chicago White Sox and or Chicago Cubs. I got a story I won't get into. I'm from Chicago, so I really, I'm kind of jumping on the Cubs bandwagon right now. I think it'd be great for the city of Chicago to have the Cubs win finally. Football, Chicago Bears. Big hockey fan, Chicago Blackhawks, obviously. So I want to see the Boston Red Sox. Yeah, Jake Arrieta is amazing. Quick little plug. Jake Arrieta obviously went to TCU. Brian Kane, if you guys haven't had a chance to check him out, awesome stuff on mental conditioning. He does the same type of stuff that we do in terms of Snapchat. So jump over, follow. I think it's Brian Kane Peak. Jake Arrieta is one of those guys that has adapted his mental conditioning philosophy. All right, and I'm a firm believer that's why he's as successful as he is. He's really taken in the mental game and really dove into that. And there's no secret why he's thrown a couple of no-hitters in the last couple of years, and he's considered one of the best pitchers in the game right now. And he will be the rest of the year. Any more questions for me? If not, I'll go ahead and shut it off, and we'll. So imagine pitching would be the same mentality as driving range pitch. Not really sure what that question is, but from a pitching mentality, obviously the confidence and the one pitch at a time mentality. Same thing in hitting, is important. With pitching and offensively, we got to have short memories. We got to be able to focus on what we just did or learn from what we just did, but then we got to forget it. Okay, Corey, I know you're on this one on Facebook, but he says all the time, so what, next pitch? All right, and you got to have that mentality. You got to learn from the prior, but then you have to focus and forget about the past and focus on that current pitch, and you got to win one pitch at a time. So it's the same thing offensively and defensively, whether you're on the mound or up at the plate, guys. So you got to win one pitch, take one pitch at a time. Okay, be a one-pitch warrior. Sorry I'm asking useless questions. No worries, man. I think you're the one from Ireland, so it's awesome that you're tuning in. I appreciate you participating. I'm here to answer any questions you guys fire at me. No worries. Good day, mate. Awesome. All right, guys, I'm going to end it. If we don't have any more questions coming through, again, Tuesday nights, 9:15 to 9:30. We'll talk about various topics. Hit me up on Snap, hit me up on Twitter if you guys have any things that you guys would like me to discuss in the coming weeks. Appreciate you guys tuning in.